Well, I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still here with your Friday morning forecast. And as we progress through this holiday weekend, or extended weekend, I guess a lot of people are looking at it as pretty much a repeat. Not really a whole lot of variation as far as our weather, but at least a good chance for us to dry out. That's the positive side. Let's get you to what I'm tracking. Again, kind of a repeat of what we're looking at, hot and humid conditions. Any day there could be a sea breeze storm pop up. Wouldn't really count on a whole lot of action on it, but it is possible as we go on through today and tomorrow and even in through Sunday. A better chance Monday and Tuesday, but still a very slight chance at that. We are also alerting you to the beach hazard with the higher rip current threat risk. We had 3 people die in Brunswick Beach on Wednesday because of the rip currents, and we've had quite a few rescues yesterday on the 4th of July along the Crystal Coast. So you're going to need to use caution in the water for this weekend. And we stay mainly dry as we head on into next week, which is a good thing because we do have some flood warnings that we need to alert you to. Greene County, Lenore County, Duplin County. These are specific rivers, creeks, and streams in those counties that are mostly either at flood stage now or going to be going above flood stage. Here's what we're dealing with. Northeast Cape Fear River in Chinquapin, Duplin County, as well as the Contentnia Creek in Hookerton, Greene County. We're at our crest right now and will slowly fall as we go through the weekend. Meanwhile, the Neuse River still expected to rise, already above flood stage, but still continuing to rise over this weekend, topping out at 16.2 feet on Tuesday. Now, that will have some impact as far as the campground around the Nature Center is concerned. That is going to be flooding. It's about a foot higher than what they were originally forecasting yesterday. And the Tar River in Greenville and in Tarboro itself will also be going above flood stage. Right now, just about a foot below flood stage. Over this weekend, it'll go above flood stage and remain there, cresting into the early part of next week, but then remaining above flood stage for much of next week. Here's your Storm Track 12 forecast as we head on in through today. Mixture of sun and clouds, hot and humid. Again, maybe an isolated shower or thunder shower, not completely out of the question, but we're talking about a 5-minute sprinkle, if that even. And then it moves on, upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Possibility of spotty sprinkle east of Highway 17 overnight tonight along the beaches, possible. But otherwise, we are going to be looking at low clouds and fog potentially, but not as much of that as we've seen the last couple days. Again, I'll put in that slim chance for an isolated storm along the sea breeze front for tomorrow. And temperatures back up near that 90-degree mark. So here's how things go. We'll be looking at temperatures warming up into the upper 80s for inland areas, mid-80s at the beaches, another warm, muggy one overnight tonight, and then even a tad bit warmer as we head on in through our day tomorrow. The pattern's locked in place because of the way the jet stream is configured. Here it is. Big upper-level ridge, the Bermuda High, that's parked in off of the east coast and extending over us, basically protecting us, sending that rich river of moisture right out of the Gulf of Mexico through western portions of Florida, right on up into Tennessee. Here's our upper level low sitting out here. And this will eventually eject out in towards the northeast mid-Atlantic states as we go through the end of this weekend going into early next week. But the other piece of the puzzle is the upper level ridge now sitting out over the Rockies. And this one is going to build over the top and rejoin with this one as we go into next week, continuing with the hot and humid weather. So here's how things play out. You'll see what we're talking about here. The high basically staying over us. As long as these height contours are over us as we go in through this weekend, this is basically creating a block. Now, and we'll talk about this a little bit when I look at the tropics, there is a little disturbance that's going to be coming along the periphery of this, and that's what's going to give us maybe an isolated shower or storm later tonight going in through tomorrow. Notice by Sunday that upper level low opens up, starting heads up towards the Ohio Valley, and as it does kind of bump this upper level high here back out into the ocean a little bit, so that does open us up Monday and Tuesday for the chance of a shower or storm as that injects and works its way on through. But then notice, as soon as that goes by, we get the heights building right back in as this high starts to join up with this high as they're going to be hooking over the top. Now, you'll notice there is something underneath here, though, a little weak low pressure system that's going to be headed westbound as this upper level ridge kind of rebuilds back over it, and as a result, we'll have to watch the Gulf of Mexico next week. Potentially could be some problems there. Again, middle to the end of the week, that potentially could happen. But for the most part, it is this rich river of tropical moisture coming right out of the Gulf, right up through the mid-Mississippi River Valley, on up into the Tennessee River Valley, but it's the high pressure sitting over us that is the main dominant feature in our weather as we head on in through this weekend. Now, remember I did mention as far as that Bermuda high is concerned, that high does remain off the coast here. In fact, you can see it with the wind hours, the vectors on here, pretty much centered right there off of Wilmington and Cape Hatteras area, and that will slowly drift off to the east as we go on through this weekend. But we are also going to be looking at only an isolated shower or thunder shower possible with that moist flow coming in off of the ocean. Showers and storms remain well out in western North Carolina into the mountains of Tennessee. That high pressure still in control of our weather with the clockwise flow giving us the sunshine that we'll be dealing with as we go on through this weekend. And then we still continue to see that holding as we go through Saturday, Sunday, and even into Monday. All right, let's talk about the tropics here for a minute. We are looking at the coast of Africa here. Now, this is what we call the Saharan dust layer. All this orange and yellow you see out here, and there's the coast of Africa right here, Cape Verde Islands right in this neighborhood. All this is dust that has come off of the African continent and been blown out into the weather pattern. And as long as this is this thick out here, it basically chokes out these waves as they try to come off the African continent. You can see there's one coming off right now, but it kind of dies out. So not a whole lot of action going on with the long track storms, and as a result, you can see not really much in the way of convection out in that part of the Atlantic Ocean. Again, here's the Cape Verde Islands, the coast of Africa over here. Now, this little feature, this is what we want to watch. Remember, we've got a Bermuda high sitting up back up here. This is an upper level low that's going to be caught on the back side or the periphery of that high, and that's what the forecast model was looking at as we went on into the first part of next week, coming towards the Florida Peninsula. So that upper disturbance is going to back from out here, back around, and be heading towards Florida by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. Now, the other thing we need to consider is the Madden-Julian oscillation, and we've kind of talked about that briefly here before. It's a wave pattern that goes around the globe in the tropical regions, and that's about a 40-day wave, and as it makes its way from the Indian subcontinent out into the Pacific Ocean and comes from west to east and towards our part of the hemisphere, it does give us a trigger or a clue as far as enhanced potential for tropical activity. I'm not saying it's exact contributing to it, but it does give enhanced upward vertical motion, and that is going to be coming into a period that, as we go into the middle of next week, we would be looking into the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico for potential problems. So the way the weather pattern is with that upper level ridge building over the southeast, yet again, anything that does develop would be forced in towards Texas. So it would not be a problem for us here in eastern Carolina, but we may have our next named storm by the middle of next week. Again, that would be down in the Gulf of Mexico, more than likely not having an impact on us here in eastern Carolina whatsoever. So because of that upper level ridge parked where it is, we stay hot, we stay humid. There could be an isolated shower or two, not completely out of the question, but I don't think a whole lot of us are going to be seeing much rainfall from now until about this time next week. Have yourself a good weekend. Make sure you apply plenty of sunblock. And again, if you're getting in the beaches, do use caution out there as we have that high rip current threat. I'll talk to you on Monday. I'm Storm Track 12 meteorologist Les Still.